They sit on the side, ooh, that's funny. Next thing you know, you see it on HBO or something, you be sitting at home, that shit mine, you know? But ain't nobody gonna believe first come first.
I met Bernie years and years ago when I used to have a golf tournament down in Bermuda. And Bernie was the highlight of my comedy Give to You. And Bernie, unlike me, I get angry about it.
Samuel L. Jackson and Katt Williams just put Marjorie Harvey on blast, and now people are looking at her very differently. According to these new claims, Marjorie was not just standing quietly beside Steve Harvey. People are saying she was the one making major moves behind the scenes, and allegedly causing serious problems for others. Some even believe she played a huge part in turning Steve against the legendary Bernie Mac. But the drama does not stop there. Steve's ex-wife, Mary, also made shocking accusations about Marjorie. Mary claimed Marjorie convinced Steve to push his own son away from his biological mother because she wanted tighter control over Steve Harvey's fortune and family circle. That accusation alone had people online going crazy.
I know that as a mother, if I was ever in a position to where I had to be in charge of somebody else's child, I definitely make sure they have a great relationship with that child. But I just don't see how Marjorie, in particular, can call herself a mother to her own children and deliberately try to sabotage my relationship with my son.
Then there's all the talk surrounding Marjorie's past relationships with two well-known drug figures. A lot of people think those stories explain why some celebrities are now questioning her influence and motives. Now let's get into the Bernie Mac situation, because this story keeps getting messier. Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac were known to have tension during the Kings of Comedy era, but new stories are making the situation sound way deeper than fans first believed. Several insiders claimed Steve allegedly tried to damage Bernie's opportunities in Hollywood and keep him from getting major industry support. That shocked a lot of fans because Steve later became emotional at Bernie's funeral and often spoke publicly like they were close friends.
Bernie Mac always said he walked alone. I don't think he was walking alone at all. I think Bernie was walking with Jesus the whole time. I just hope Jesus.
What makes this even intense is that Bernie himself once spoke openly about feeling betrayed and sabotaged by Steve. Even with those comments out there, many people believe the situation was quietly buried for years, while the public only saw the polished version of their relationship. Back in 2003, Bernie Mac sat down with GQ magazine and made some bold comments about Steve Harvey. Bernie claimed Steve was jealous of his success and even tried to take movie opportunities away from him. One of the biggest claims involved the movie Ocean's 11. According to the article, someone connected to Steve's team allegedly contacted director Steven Soderbergh and pushed for Steve to get the role instead of Bernie. That story instantly caught attention because it painted a very different picture of what fans thought was friendly competition.
Bernie told me something, I believed it because he never lied to me. He told me that when he got Oceans, Steve called the producer to try to get his role and even wanted to take less money, and the producers told Steve no. That's what Bernie told Ed Lover.
When GQ asked Bernie how he felt after hearing about the situation, Bernie kept it calm, but still made his point clear. He said, "The Hollywood game that we are in, it's a cold game." Bernie also talked about how fame changes people in the entertainment industry and why he refused to play dirty just to get even with someone. He explained it by saying, "When they told me about it, what could I do? I'm not going to sling mud. I'm not a rapper. I tell jokes. I try to make people laugh. I'm not going to sling mud. Steve and anybody else can say whatever they want to say. Ain't nobody got no control over me. I have the control." But Bernie was not finished speaking on the issue. He also took a direct shot at Steve's personality and ego when talking about the Kings of Comedy tour. Bernie said, "Go back and look at the Kings of Comedy tapes. Whenever he introduced his buddy, Cedric the Entertainer, it was all about himself." Then he added, "So yeah, I knew about it. Did it piss me off? Nah, you can't piss me off. You ain't that good."
Everybody got their own TV show except you, man. Because they scared of me. My presence is just too strong. It's my choice because I really haven't found the right vehicle for me. I can't be watered down. You know, they give out a TV show like government cheese, you know what I mean? Everybody got a goddamn show, you know? But you know what? The thing is, you have to know where you are within yourself. You know, and I do Bernie Mac. I don't worry about what somebody else does. I got to do what I have to do. Mainstream didn't make Bernie Mac. Hollywood didn't make Bernie Mac.
After dealing with situations like that, Bernie reportedly started distancing himself from Hollywood life. A lot of people close to the industry believed he became tired of fake friendships, ego battles, and behind-the-scenes competition that came with fame and success. "There wasn't anything for me out there," Bernie Mac told GQ when explaining why he stepped away from Hollywood life. Then, while speaking about his wife and daughter, he added, "I had the best right here at home." Bernie made it clear that family meant more to him than chasing fame, industry games, and nonstop attention from Hollywood circles. Later on, Steve Harvey was asked about Bernie's comments from that GQ interview, and he completely denied the accusations. During a 2010 interview with Ed Gordon, just 2 years after Bernie passed away from complications related to pneumonia, Steve said he was hurt by the claims Bernie made about him. Steve explained, "I was upset at first because it just wasn't true. Me and Bernie had a lot of good times together. And then this article in GQ came out and put all this vicious stuff in there." Steve also suggested the interview may have exaggerated the situation and made the feud sound worse than it really was. But many people pointed out that GQ directly quoted Bernie throughout the article, and interviews like that usually go through reviews before publication. Because of that, some fans believed Bernie truly stood by what was printed in the magazine and wanted his side of the story heard publicly. The situation became even messier when comedians and industry insiders started speaking out years later. Corey Holcomb, who once opened shows for Bernie, publicly criticized Steve and claimed Bernie and Cedric the Entertainer were stronger performers. Corey also suggested Steve became more successful because he allegedly knew how to impress powerful people in the entertainment business and stay connected with major producers.
They used to let Steve Harvey be the headliner of the Kings of Comedy. They used to let Steve Harvey was the headliner because at the time he was having the most, he was the most famous.
Right.
But he was bombing too many nights coming behind DL, Sid, and Bernie. They had to make him the host. But Steve Harvey found a way. Even though he wasn't talented, he still found a way. You gotta have the courage to find Steve Harvey and say, "Steve, sir, show me how you did it. Show me how you made it with no talent." Find a talentless comedian who made it and ask him, what do you have to do to get it? Even though I could tell you, it's either kiss ass or boys. Steve Harvey kissed. That's how he got it. Everybody thinks Steve Harvey some stand-up ass man. No, motherfucker, he kissed the old girl who owned TV One. He used to kiss her. That's how he had the radio show out here.
Those comments added more heat to the long-running tension surrounding Steve's rise in comedy and television. Over time, more critics started accusing him of playing politics behind the scenes, stepping over people to move ahead, and carefully protecting his public image while private conflicts stayed hidden from fans. Cathy Hughes, the founder of Radio One and the woman who helped give Steve Harvey his own radio platform, once spoke very critically about him in public. She said Steve was one of the most disrespectful and ungrateful people she had ever dealt with. Those comments shocked a lot of people because Cathy was someone who played a major role in helping Steve expand his career and reach a bigger audience through radio. Then there is Samuel L. Jackson, who was known to be very close with Bernie Mac and even spoke at Bernie's funeral. According to people around the situation, Samuel allegedly believed Marjorie Harvey had a strong influence behind the scenes and may have encouraged Steve to think he deserved certain movie opportunities over Bernie, including the Ocean's 11 role. Some sources also claimed Samuel quietly warned Steve about moving too fast and trusting certain people around him. What makes a situation more interesting to fans is how different Samuel's personal life looked compared to the story surrounding Steve and Marjorie. Samuel L. Jackson has been married to LaTanya Richardson Jackson for decades. The two met in college in Atlanta during the late 1960s and early 1970s, long before Samuel became one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Many people close to Samuel believe that strong foundation and loyalty helped keep his marriage solid through fame, pressure, and success in the entertainment industry. Bernie Mac followed a very similar path in his own life. He stayed committed to the same woman who supported him before the spotlight ever arrived. Bernie married his high school sweetheart, Rhonda Gore, back in 1977, years before Kings of Comedy and The Bernie Mac Show made him a household name. Fans often point to that loyalty as one reason Bernie stayed respected by so many people inside and outside of Hollywood. Bernie Mac spent years grinding as a stand-up comedian before finally landing major movie and television opportunities in the 1990s. Through all the struggles, his wife Rhonda stayed right beside him and supported him the entire way. The two remained married for 31 years until Bernie passed away in 2008. Their relationship became an example to many fans of loyalty, patience, and staying solid through hard times in the entertainment world.
When I came in late the other day, she told me, she said, "You ain't going nowhere tonight." I said, "I'm going out, honey." She said, "You ain't going no goddamn where tonight." I said, "Baby," I said, who the hell you think you're talking to? I said, "Look at my birth certificate. I'm 42 years old." She said, "You want to be 43?
Steve Harvey's story, however, has often been viewed very differently by critics and people online. Steve first met Marjorie Harvey in 1990 at a comedy club, and according to stories that have circulated for years, he reportedly told her the moment he saw her that he was going to marry her someday.
Kid you not, the first word I ever said to her was, "I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna marry you one day."
A lot of people thought the story sounded sweet at first, but others quickly pointed out one major detail. Steve was already married to his first wife, Marcia Harvey, during that time. According to several reports and public discussions over the years, Marjorie allegedly was not seriously interested in Steve early on while he was still struggling financially in comedy. During that same period, Steve and Marcia were building a family together and welcomed 3 children, twin daughters Brandy and Carly, along with their son Broderick. Later, Marcia publicly claimed Steve had been unfaithful during their marriage and left while she was still pregnant with Broderick. Those accusations caused major controversy around Steve's personal life. After the relationship fell apart, Marcia filed for divorce and reportedly had to pursue legal action over financial support issues involving alimony and child support. Around that period, Steve had also started a relationship with Mary Shackelford, who later became his second wife. Years later, Mary would publicly speak about Steve and Marjorie, sharing claims and stories that added even more attention to the ongoing drama surrounding the Harvey family history. Mary Shackelford later made serious claims about Marjorie Harvey and the impact she allegedly had on Steve Harvey's relationships with his biological children. According to Mary, Marjorie encouraged Steve to become closer with her children from previous relationships, while tensions reportedly grew between Steve and members of his own family. Those accusations became a major topic online because many people were shocked by how quickly Steve's personal life seemed to change after reconnecting with Marjorie. According to stories shared publicly over the years, Marjorie and Steve first crossed paths long before Steve became a television star. At the time, Steve was still struggling financially as a comedian, trying to break into the entertainment industry. Later, Marjorie married Darnell Woods, but after legal troubles reportedly changed that situation, she eventually reconnected with Steve once his career had become more visible on television. At that point, Steve was still married to Mary Shackelford, and the two shared a son named Winton. Mary later claimed Marjorie wanted her completely out of the picture, and that major changes started happening inside the family once Steve and Marjorie became serious.
When I think about how quickly he moved forward from me to Marjorie, that was...
Steve and Mary eventually divorced, and Steve later married Marjorie in 2007. After their marriage, Steve also became a father figure to Marjorie's 3 children, Morgan, Jason, and Lori. Mary publicly expressed hurt over how quickly everything changed. She claims she supported Steve during difficult years while he was building his businesses and career. According to her statements, she felt abandoned after Marjorie entered the picture. Mary also accused Steve of using his fame, financial resources, and public influence during legal disputes involving custody arrangements connected to their son, Winton.
Took my Winton from me. He turned my son against me. Had me evicted from our house. Thrown out. All the businesses, all the money, the cars. At a moment when I was down and devastated, he maneuvered everything. He manipulated the courts, everything against me. He went to court and under oath said that on his own he had built this whole thing by himself. And I just sat at the table and cried. I cried through the whole thing, and I fell apart.
Those claims sparked heavy debate online and added even more controversy to the Harvey family story. According to statements Mary Shackelford made publicly, she believed Marjorie Harvey had major influence over Steve Harvey's decisions during their marriage problems.
Always carry yourself like a lady. Being a lady never goes out of style.
Mary claimed Marjorie encouraged Steve to distance himself from her, and that their son Winton's relationship with his mother also became strained during that period. Those accusations created intense discussion online because many people felt the situation sounded deeper than a normal celebrity breakup. At the same time, Steve reunited with Marjorie and ended his marriage to Mary. His friendship with Bernie Mac also reportedly started falling apart. Some insiders later speculated that Marjorie may have influenced Steve's attitude toward Bernie behind the scenes, although those claims have never been proven. Still, fans continue connecting the timing of those events and questioning what was really happening privately during those years. Katt Williams added even more controversy to the conversation after his appearance on Club Shay Shay. During the interview, Katt spoke about what he believes happens behind the scenes in Hollywood and how certain entertainers allegedly follow specific industry patterns when moving up in fame.
If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview.
Katt also pointed to Steve's personal life and questioned the public narrative surrounding his relationship history. He suggested Steve moved on from his first marriage quickly, while later presenting Marjorie as someone who supported him from the beginning. At the same time, many people also point out that Steve Harvey made his own personal choices and should still be held responsible for his actions and relationships.
Thanks to my wife, I'm where I am. You said that about the first wife. You forget that? You told us it was her, then you went and married somebody else that think like a man.
Critics online continue debating whether Katt's comments about Hollywood culture hold any truth, especially because fans claim they keep noticing similar situations involving fame, image, and celebrity relationships across the entertainment industry. And the deeper people look into Marjorie Harvey's background, the more questions start popping up online. One of the biggest topics people keep bringing up is her past relationships and the stories connected to them. Over the years, rumors and old reports have followed Marjorie, especially because 2 of the men she was previously linked to reportedly faced major criminal charges connected to drug trafficking. Those stories have circulated for years and continue getting brought back into the spotlight whenever controversy surrounding Steve and Marjorie starts trending again. Critics online have also questioned how Marjorie suddenly became such a powerful figure around Steve's career and public image. Some fans believe Steve changed dramatically after marrying her, especially when it came to friendships, family relationships, and the way he handled people around him. Others think the internet is simply connecting unrelated situations and turning them into bigger scandals than they really are. Meanwhile, Katt Williams keeps fueling conversations because fans believe he has been hinting at these Hollywood situations for years. Every time an old interview resurfaces or another celebrity speaks out about behind-the-scenes politics, people rush back to Katt's comments and start comparing details. That is why so many viewers now believe there may have been much more happening behind closed doors than the public ever realized. Even Samuel L. Jackson's name getting connected to the discussion shocked fans, because Samuel has always been viewed as someone who stays away from messy celebrity drama. So when stories started spreading that he privately questions Steve and Marjorie's situation, people instantly paid attention. Now, the internet keeps digging through old interviews, old friendships, and old industry stories, trying to figure out what really happened during that era of Hollywood comedy. But let me know what you think. Do you believe Marjorie Harvey really played a role in Steve Harvey's fallout with his ex-wife and Bernie Mac? Do you think Katt Williams was exposing something real when he talked about those Hollywood industry patterns and the so-called light-skin wife program? Or do you think people online are reading way too much into these situations? Drop your thoughts and theories in the comments, because this conversation has people seriously divided right now. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others so more people can join the discussion. Stay tuned for the next video.